breaking news, everybody. So far, it's the longest practice that we've had so far. Things of that nature. Jalen Hurts and Kenny Pickett are both looking pretty good. Someone gets mossed. Things of that nature. Darius Slay's looking washed. Bradbury, he speaks to the media. Things of that nature. So without further ado, let's fly on into it. So, day three of the workouts has just concluded. I got all like my news and all that stuff together. First and foremost, excuse me, Devin White and Zach Bond. That they're looking like locks to start at linebacker because as Fangio said it in the last one, it'll become obvious. Who's gonna start and things of that nature. So I mean, he said that like media tries to overplay it and all that, but I mean it becomes obvious, who gets first team and second team and whatnot. So I mean, in terms of linebacker, that's what looks to be obvious. However, according to the defensive coordinator's logic, the guy who's going to be picking who's playing on defense. Um, Slay, even though he's washed, he got burnt by Paris Campbell. He can't even cover wide receiver three. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, wide receiver ones. I mean, we're still gonna face, pretty good teams. Zay Flowers. You know what I'm saying? So, things of that nature. So, Quinion Mitchell, he got some first team looks. I think Rogers will definitely have a big role because he's been having a big role consistently and whatnot. So he may not be like first team right away. May not be like starting like week one or however the case may be. But I definitely do think he'll definitely have some pretty big looks. Next up, uh, they've had a lot of blitz looks and things of that nature. Um, Jalen looks faster. We're seeing more and more reports about that. Uh, Smitty supposedly mossed Keely Ringo on a deep ball from Jalen. And then apparently Julian O was giving undrafted free agent Anim Dankwa a lot of trouble. I think that's pretty cool. He's doing his thing. I'm gonna mute my phone. Give me 1 second. Um, but um, but yeah. Um, Somehow, some way, Eli Ricks is getting first team reps. He's apparently looked bad and OTAs or however, but on the third day, we're finally hearing something about him. We haven't heard anything good about him. But finally, he's got first team reps. That's all. The little thing I found said. Jalix Hunt. He's continuing to make plays, things of that nature. I know, like the other day, he got passed and had a quote unquote sack or however. But today he bats down a Tanner McKee pass, things of that nature. So I mean, I think that's really good. He's a see ball, get ball kind of guy. So I think that bodes well for the Eagles. Um, AJ and Devontae Smith are cooking, things of that nature. It says that they made a lot of difficult catches look easy and things of that nature. Pickett threw a deep ball to Covey and whatnot. Nice Smith with a drop. It says on the article that he's struggled so far in the off-season practices so far. The practice was an hour and 40 minutes. That's the longest that there's been so far. Things of that nature. Um, Now for press conferences, because in terms of that or however, that's really all I've seen is that AJ Brown, he caught like a deep ball. He was cooking. We heard good from Devontae Smith, things of that nature. Um, but yeah, next up, first off, Kellen Moore. He said a lot of interesting things. But first off, in terms of his tone, it sounded like he is actually qualified for the position. Because when Nick talks, he's just like, yeah, we have a quality scheme and yada yada yada. It's gonna work and da 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 da. But then when Kellen Moore was talking, he was like, yeah, like I just don't want this guy to be in one spot or however, if we need to introduce motion or however throw this guy off, I don't want to have this guy just stuck here, however, whatever it takes, and then have adaptations to the route. So then if the hot route doesn't work or however, the other ones are still adjustable and they can still work and produce explosiveness versus just relying on one route. What I'm saying to provide explosiveness, and the other ones are just worthless decoys that we already know are going to be trash. Because there's plays of every type. there's absolutely good plays. There's kind of like, I mean, it's okay, but I mean, I wouldn't call it or however. I mean, there's plays of every kind of quality or however. So, again, it sounds like when it comes to the offense, it sounds like he really knows what he's talking about. He sounds like he's actually qualified. Not to get into what he actually said. I don't mean to ramble about that or however, but that really was a confidence sparking or however the case may be. I was like, dang, like that actually makes me kind of feel a little bit better about him. Because I mean, no preseason game or however August 9th that has not come yet or however no diddy, but yeah, that has not occurred yet. Um, but yeah, I mean, he says that the first thing he said was he was complimenting Jalen's ability to call adjustments like at the line of scrimmage or however, that he trusts him and whatnot, and he says that Jalen and Cam Jurgens are are the two keys to uh, to like the command, like the leadership and things of that nature, to like diagnose things like secondary coverages in terms of like Jalen or however, so he can like adjust like the receivers to try to like help him get open earlier or whatever the case may be. He also said that Jalen is a huge part in terms of the offensive building and things of that nature. Grant Calcaterra is currently the tight end too, and that he likes Kenny Pickett, that he can run, throw, and that he's kind of athletic. Obviously, he's no Jalen Hurts, um, but that he can still run a little bit. He can still extend the play a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he runs like a 10-second 40. Is basically what I was getting from it. Bradbury next up. Uh, he says that the transition is more communication at safety or however, but it's been smooth so far. However, that's like the main hard part for him is that there's just like more communication. He kind of has to like know like what more people have to like do or however. So in terms of that, he's just learning that, and the main reason why he decided, because he said it was his decision, was just because it sounded like he wanted to be an Eagle. He didn't say, "Oh, because I wanted to play here." I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but that's what it sounded like. And he said, as of right now, I mean, I'm under contract, so I mean, I'm here playing. I'm gonna give it what I got. You know what I'm saying? And um, he said he's trying to be valuable and versatile for the team, and he wants a role here, and he's trying to find it. And that he knows that that they were going to draft corners and whatnot because he knows that he had a bad year. Um, but he doesn't seem to care if how he gets rid of him at the very same time. He says he's just taking it day by day. But again, he knew that they were going to draft him, that they brought Isaiah Rodgers in, even last year, when he couldn't play because of the gambling suspension. So, um, I mean, overall, I think he's humbling out, you know what I'm saying? And, I think it's like a confidence issue ever since the Super Bowl or however the case may be, um, since he was called for holding or however. And I think, he's like, well, I don't want to be labeled as a quitter, so I mean, I'm gonna give it what I got, try to change positions or however. I mean, and do what's right for the team. So I mean, I can commend him for that and admitting, that he, really didn't play good at all last year. Um, my final thoughts about that is that's how freaking Slay should be. I mean, like man, if Slay had that attitude or however and could admit when he didn't play bad, or like if he could admit when he played bad, then that would be freaking amazing. Like I wish Slay had that. That accountability. Like, dang, I was garbage last year. I'm washed. I don't want to tackle anymore. All I want to do is let them run 20 yards past me and then push them out of bounds. You know what I'm saying, or however the case may be. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, in terms of Bradbury though, heck yeah, I mean, I respect the guy for that. He's trying. It seems like he wants to be here. That he wants to just be versatile and have some sort of role and whatnot. He said obviously everyone wants to start or however, but he's willing to do any type of role or however for the Eagles. So, um, I mean, we'll see. I mean, definitely new respect for him, absolutely. Um, Next up, Mekhi Becton. Um, he said a few interesting things. He praised Stoutland and Mulata and Landon, and because he pretty much can play anything. I haven't seen him play center yet. Except center, he can play pretty much anything on the O line. That because they've been teaching him everything and whatnot, and um, just things like that. And he's been working really hard in the off season, and the whole him throwing up thing. He says that he's been like throwing up like on the first practice every day for his career. Um, so I mean, I just think that means he's always a hard worker, and he just gets used to the weather or however. Um, and then Reed Blankenship, he says a couple things interesting. He says that he has good chemistry with CJ, GJ. He likes James Bradbury at safety and things of that nature. Um, I mean, if they can make it work, I mean, second or third team or however the case may be, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I still believe though that at cornerback James Bradbury's washed. I mean, maybe at safety, he might be able to do something, help Reed out or however as like a role player, however the case may be. But in terms of cornerback, I'm keeping my same energy. You know what I'm saying? I think he's washed. Same thing with Darius Slay. He can't even cover wide receiver for three, and he has his legs back. Supposedly, he has his wheels back. Is what he said. That's his words. He said he's still the fastest guy on the team. Can't even cover Paris Campbell. What are you talking about? Can't even cover AJ Brown. Well, I mean, no, well, I mean, not a lot of people can. So his name is literally one kid is open. But you guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. Come on, But like I said, Paris Campbell can't even cover him. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I think my final thoughts. It's been pretty much a week or however. I don't know if yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have practice on a Sunday or however, but if they do, I'll definitely cover it or however. But that's pretty much most of the first week, if not the whole week, wrapped up. My final thoughts on the week. Uh, Jalen Hurts. I mean, compared to last year, um, I remember what they were saying last year. He had some ups and downs. He's inconsistent or however. But I mean, Jalen Hurts. I mean, a lot of people are saying, that he's been, like the most consistent. He's more accurate now. And in terms of passing, accuracy is accuracy. I don't care. Accuracy is accuracy. Ball placement, no Diddy is ball placement, no Diddy. I don't care. If you're accurate, if you're on the money, it don't matter. It really doesn't. If you're accurate, you're accurate. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing that really matters in terms of pads is hitting the O line, the D line, linebackers, and safeties and all that or however. But if you're the quarterback or the running back, when all you got to do is look fast or however and look accurate, then yeah, preseason, yeah, you can definitely get a good or extension or however if you do good in preseason and you know what I'm saying if you look really accurate and things of that nature. And Jalen Hurts is looking really accurate, so now obviously he already got paid because he was accurate before. So obviously Kellen Moore and Doug Neusmeyer, I'm pretty sure that's the quarterback coach he has now or however. Obviously they're doing something right. Obviously there's a little bit of hiccups or however in OTAs that give you that a couple picks, but I mean, three straight practices or however. I think like 45 passes. I mean, he has like a 80 something, 70 something percent completion percentage or something like that. I'll go ahead and like post it right there. So overall in terms of Jalen Hurts, I give him an A plus. I mean, I still don't think he's thrown any picks or however again. I mean, out of like 40 something, 50 something, 60 something passes or however the case, he's got like 80 something percent of them or something like that or however. And yeah. And then Barkley, he's looking good and explosive or however. I know, he hasn't gotten like hit yet or however, we haven't played a game yet. But I mean, there's no hip drop tackle. You can't really hit anybody. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as he gets past them, and he's healthy as of right now. He's healthy and explosive. So as soon as he gets past them, make them miss because of the Eagles O line. At least top 10 O line. 32 teams in the NFL. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there's 32 teams, and out of those 32 teams, we at least, being humble, at least have a top 10 O line. So that being said, if Saquon is running behind that, you know what I'm saying? As soon as he makes the one guy miss or however that's trying to get him or however, boom, he's gone. And even then, it's not like, oh, he gets tackled one time or however. It's because in New York he gets tackled millions of times, metaphorically speaking. Just like how I think it was Devontae Adams and the Raiders or however, because Jimmy Garoppolo's ball placement, no Diddy, was freaking horrible. The same freaking thing. You guys know what I'm trying to say or however. But yeah, and then in retrospect, the coaching last year, however, didn't have that level of a running back. Miles Sanders, he is good, or however, you know what I'm saying. But on other teams, he's third string. You guys see it. He may even get cut. Saquon Barkley with no O line, no nothing, he can still give you 900 yards with nothing. With nothing. No quarterback, no nothing. And then on top of that, you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, yeah, overall, I mean, I think there's lots of room to be excited. However, for us Eagles fans, things of that nature. Obviously Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, they're looking beast like and whatnot. They're looking great. Um, Dallas Goddard, I think, he'll be a consistent top 10 tight end. Again, same reason Saquon or however ranking will rise and Jalen's or however, because they won't have to, be so much of a hero or however. You know what I'm saying? Like I think everyone will be able to play the 18 games, at least on offense. I think Saquon will be able to, AJ Brown will be able to, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, etc. And then in terms of Kenny Pickett, honestly think, he's just going to be good old preseason and worst case scenario sort of thing or however, because we still have a pretty darn good O line. And then in terms of defense, you know what I'm saying? We're hearing a lot of good things about defense. In terms of Bryce Huff, yeah, sure, that's a little concerning, but I mean, there's still time. There's still preseason. You know what I'm saying? We can still test stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And there's still 20 something $million in cap space. So I mean, we're still good on that. So overall, nothing too concerning. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for ranting a little bit or however. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I like where we're at so far. I mean, good coaching. Fangio, he has a no BS attitude. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, guys, I just talked with my hands. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm excited. Like, oh, like fly, Eagles, fly. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a little closer. There you go. Fly, Eagles, fly. But, yeah, fly, Eagles, fly. That's all I can say. But, yeah, good coaching, good players, things of that nature. I think it's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, as always, I'm always going to try to, step it up in terms of editing and quality. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. Philly out. Peace.